An architect basically plans and designs buildings. There are, of course, various stages to a project. We first of all have to speak to the client and get all the requirements needed for designing the building. That's the first stage. The second stage would be to develop a design concept for that client or for that project. And that basically is a basic idea of what the building would be. The third stage then is the design development. That basically means that you take the design concept further, develop the idea further, refine the idea a lot more. The fourth stage would be to work on the technical documentation. That's basically the actual drawings that the building is going to be built on, and that we would then use to basically recruit a contractor for the project. And then the final stage would be to get the contract or the project on site, start with the construction and supervising the project, obviously from commencement of construction to the finalization of construction and handing over of the project to the client. So it's quite wide array of services that we offer as architects, and it basically starts off from the artistic, it ends up going into management aspects of project, project management, etc. With most universities, the major requirement is actually for learners to have had a background of mathematics. Science is usually also an advantage to have taken physics or science subjects, but the major requirement is mathematics. Arts or experience in arts or formal education in an arts subject is also an added advantage. What the universities or most universities then require from a learner is for the learner to basically prepare a basic portfolio of drawing works that is submitted with or after the submission of the actual application to the university. So the learner would actually be given the requirements for this portfolio. They would request the learner to do a couple of drawings. This varies from drawing a map of the area in which you live, say from your house to some basic shop or to town. Basic artistic drawings such as drawing people or animals, etc. And then also a few drawings of buildings that the learner, or from the environment that the learner lives in. Visualization is actually 3D visualization is very important to architecture, and that is actually why that is often required, and that is often the major requirement that the universities would base its admission on. A person would have to be able to work independently. You would have to be a very confident person. You have to be a driven person, have to take a lot of initiative, because as an architect you basically initiate and lead a team of people who would work under you. This could be engineers, quantity surveyors, etc. The various branches of engineering could typically be an electrical engineer, a mechanical engineer, and civil engineer. As an architect, you're basically the leader of the team, and these other individuals and disciplines relies on your judgment and leadership skill to guide and lead them throughout the duration of the project. So it's actually very important for a person to have certain attribute or skills or leadership skills. That I would say that basically would be the main personality traits. Architecture can be a rewarding career, not so much also in the money aspect, but also in a different aspect, in the aspect of actually seeing your work being realized. I don't think that it happens with many other careers for a person to see your work basically taking form or shape in a tangible manner. But on the money aspect, a graduate architect would start off by earning a salary ranging around 8,000, and this could actually rise to around about 15,000 for a registered architect. And from then onwards, the sky is basically the limit, and it all basically depends on the talent and commitment of the individual. There is a lot of opportunities in the labor market, especially in the construction industry at the moment as it is. We've got a scarcity of skills in the construction industry generally. And because Namibia does not have a university that offers architectural studies, that basically means that there is always a shortage of architects at any given point. So there is a lot of opportunities for people to, study architecture. The only advantage is that you would have to acquire that education outside the country. But firms often employ people from outside the country as well because of the shortage of skills. So there is a lot of opportunities. The basic message is very simple. I think it's actually something that a lot of people would say often and that we hear often, that everything basically starts with a dream. And if a person is willing to commit and hold on to their dream and make the necessary sacrifices to attain their dream, there's nothing that could actually stop one from attaining that dream. So I think the same can actually be said for architecture. It's very rewarding. It's one of the few professions that one could really truly say that you can self-actualize or self-realize. So if one has that as a dream, I think that is the ultimate.